What's up, everybody? It's beau-hindman back with another 10-minute toy review. This time I'm looking at Momokapool, which is a kit from the Gundam Build Divers series, which I will talk about in a moment. First, let's introduce, as per usual, sorry if my dog hits this camera stand again, I swear. Let's talk about the kit first. It was 18 bucks roughly. I got it on Amazon. I will put a link in the description, of course. This is the tattered rulebook as they become instruction manual as they get beat up. I save all this stuff. I don't know about you guys and girls and others out there, but I do save all this stuff because it's just cool to have. It's part of the piece if you kind of creating like a unique one like that. But basically, this is Momokapool. Momo is this little girl here. I want to say they're about 10 or 12 years old in this series. This comes from Gundam Build Divers, which is the third series in the build kind of greater arc of things, which is the third series, I should say, in the greater arc of things. They had Build Fighters Tri-Island Wars. So basically, this is like the third one. And this little girl here joins her friends in this virtual world. That's why she looks like that. That's her little avatar. And what you do, the idea of the series is you take a little model from the actual model shop in the Japanese, what's the main store there, the HQ. We know it's a giant Gundam out front. Anyway, you build your little model. You set it on a pad, it scans it, and then your little VR person in the MMO, and I'll have a review of the series later, the little VR person pilots the little VR version of the Gundam, so you can look really wacky. I like the instruction manuals now come with a lot of English. Classmate of Riku and Yuki. Riku and Yuki are her male friends. She's a female. And they meet all sorts of really, really cool people. This was one of the best series excuse me, of the fighter series. I like them all, of course. I like the first one probably the best, but this one really had such a variety of characters and it actually broke some cliches. It didn't make the young girls sexy. I hate when they do that, when they're especially young girls. It's disgusting. And they didn't make the female characters only emotionally charged like they did with Build Fighters Try. Some of the characters there. But fantastic series. The fights are not as good, I'd say, as the first one, but still a really, really fun series. And this is her suit. $18 it costs, not bad. I just absolutely think it's adorable. I'm not going to go through all the instructions because that's boring. So let's look at the model instead. This is what I did to it. I did a kind of a quick, what you would call a tamping, I guess you would refer to it as tamping or padding. I added a little sticker here. I actually really like stickers because they remind me of, I'm a kid from the 80s. That's because I'm old. And I like how stickers look when I'm making something look like a toy. And it came out all right. I kind of have to retouch that up. And I did a tamping type of situation here, where you basically use inks or washes and then you pat and tamp it back. Not just randomly, you do it kind of intentionally with keeping the edges dark. I did have some issues here with some of these areas, these little teeth here that lock together. And I'm not going to close it all the way because I like to keep it open, but they keep kind of scratching. That's really hard to keep on there. I did everything in a flat. I flat coated everything except for that center piece right there, which is a glossy, dark blue. It's hard for you to see. And then everything else was tamped or patted down or whatever you want to say. I dipped the fingers and wiped those off to give them kind of a furry kind of claw look, I guess you'd say. And she's got her little duck feet there that I'll probably touch up a little bit. I just blacked out the bottom. What was really cool about this kit is it really didn't need much for seam lines. The only seam lines I had were some slight ones on the shoulders, which I got okay. Actually, I think they're on the top part here. Let me turn it a little bit. Yeah, it should be around the top part, which I got okay. You can't really see them. You can kind of see them there in the light. And then some on the butt, right here in the middle, in the crotch, there was a good seam line. But again, I took care of it pretty well. But in this part here, I didn't mind having a seam line because you do have to take it apart quite a bit. And also, I didn't mind that it looked like armor. So what's really nice about the kit is it seems like just a really basic kit, but once you get into the engineering of this kit, it really, really has some fantastic details. The idea here is that this is the suit that Momo pilots, but Momo has an avatar in the game, the little girl that I showed you. Woo! That's her avatar in the game, but she also has kind of a miniature avatar inside that goes inside the suit itself. It comes with this cute little stand. I just did a real quick flat coat on it with some blue panel lining and kind of rubbed it roughly, and then I accidentally got these 2 dots there, but I left them. I thought it was really cute. And I couldn't do this seam line here because the idea is that you take this apart. Let me show you here. You take off the little arms. You pull this apart. The arms and everything, I don't care to do it right now because I'm just going to put it right back together. But the arms and everything fit inside, and then she goes boop, inside. I'm going to probably black all that on the inside here. And then her little avatar within an avatar goes inside there, and it closes down. You can put stickers across this eye section here if you want. I like just those 2 plain ones here, and I like keeping it kind of tamped down about like that. And I like leaving it open. But when you do close it, it is really cool looking. It's really soft. Let me go ahead and close it. Screw it. I'm going to have to do that anyway because I want to see how that paint's holding up. It's not holding up. The closing thing is a little strange. You kind of have to push it in. And there, okay, that didn't work out too bad. So the idea is you can close it, pull off the arms, which I'll explain what I'm going to do. And see, I keep scratching it right there. Right there. Pull off the arms, and then it transforms, I guess you say, into basically kind of like a ball mode. You can remove the lower section, I guess, if you had to, but it's actually really, really adorable like that. This is such a cute little kit. Without being cutesy, if that makes sense, it almost looks like it could work. It almost looks more like a monkey with this long arms. It could almost run around like that. One of the problems I had with the kit is these little flaps here. As much as I worked with them and I kept having to piece them back on and off, the little tab here just weakened over time and eventually broke. So I had to glue that one. I glued this one in the same position, so I'm not going to be able to close them up. But it fell while I was drying. I didn't notice, and it dried lopsided. But I actually think that's super cute. I'm not going to do too much for posing because it doesn't really do too much for posing. Also, when I get it this kind of dry coated, and it gets kind of fragile when you work with a Gunpla this much, because what happens is the joints is you're pulling apart, pushing back together, pulling, and then you're also covering them with layers of paints and stuff. What happens is they tend to weaken and actually start to break. So you've got to be careful. There was not a seam line there. But basically the legs are relatively flexible. You're not going to do a lot with this, but you can do some pretty cute stuff. I'm just going to have them, I have a whole bunch now of these standard black typical stands for Gunpla, and I'm just going to have her flying through the air like that, and then I'm going to have this little guy, her little guy inside on there. And the idea in the cartoon is she goes boop, boop, and she pops out with this one and helps out fighting and stuff like that, kind of like at a last resort. But absolutely adorable. I'd say that if you're going to get it to paint it, it's a good one to paint because, as you can see, I just got to get it super messy. I left some of it clean to kind of give a nice what's it called? It really stands out. Oh, I didn't even notice the white also kind of enhances the white sticker as well there. That's just a little star sticker that I don't think was from Momo. I think it was from another kit. I have a whole, like a lot of you have a whole drawer of stickers. But it's a good kit for working with. Just be aware that the parts like this and messing with it in here, it's real, to get it all blacked out, I still got to do the rest of it. It's easier just to spray that. I should have known that. It's not, you want to eventually probably, if you're really going to customize it, get it to look a certain way. And I don't know if you want to glue it in place necessarily, but you might pose it and kind of leave it. It's not really a playable one as much as it really looks like it should be. I mean, this is just so adorable. I love her little arms here with her little claws. She's got 5 little claws there. And they shoot out lasers or something, I think. But just a fantastic kit. I'm so happy. I might even get another one of these to do one more kind of like red or something. But I love the dark, I love the color of the blue. I love that you can smudge it up and it just still has that eye-popping color. It's really going to stand out on my shelf. But that's the Momokapool, just a quick 10-minute review. $18, or I'm sorry, $18, I should say. Not a little pricey, but really, really worth it for a really cool shelf piece. So enjoy. I'll see you guys on the next 10-minute toy review. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.